after his other conflict ends. Happy New Year, everyone. 2026. I don't know where the years are going, but
Oh, yeah.
those numbers keep flying by.
Could I ask a question?
Of course, Carly, yes.
Uh, Bonnie, do you have an AI note taker? That's what it says
Oh,
on the
Oh, yeah, it
screen.
looks like something's up there.
it we should get. I have one that follows me everywhere here now, so I can't do it. But
Really?
whoever's doing them, it's awful. Somebody sent me a a summary from notes to read at a meeting, and it pops up, and whoever, if you read the notes, it'll start to follow you too. It's a pain. But whoever has, I cannot do it because I'm not the person controlling the meeting, but whoever's the host of the meeting, if you go in, you can hit remove.
So,
Well, I don't.
Rachel
I was
may be able
just
to.
curious.
I actually do use a different one, Otter, all the time, which I like a lot. But this one, I would say just to remove it.
I don't want to delay the meeting, though. I
Well,
mean, this is a public meeting anyway, right?
right. Rochelle, are if do you know how to remove it, Rochelle? If you go to the list of people,
Oh,
you can click remove.
It looks like it's
we're all
gone.
set there. It just
Right,
wasn't
thank
showing
you.
up for a second, so we're removed. You're good.
You're good. Okay. Great. All right, well, let's jump into it. We've got a good agenda for today's meeting. First, like to go, first order of business is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. So last meeting was November 4th, 2025. Suppose everyone's had a chance to review those minutes. And I'd like to entertain a motion if there's, well, first off, are there any changes to the minutes? Anyone wants to know?
Tim, this is Sohair, and good morning
Hi,
again,
Sohair, yes.
everyone. I wanted to suggest, if I may, for consistency and fairness, could we add the join or arrival time of all board members and not only those who arrived after 10 a.m. due to scheduling conflicts?
Can I ask why you want to do that? It's a little unusual.
Yeah, right now it appears as if there's an attempt to publicly shame those who arrived after 10 a.m. due to scheduling conflicts. And I think for consistency, you should either have it for everyone or not include them at all.
I don't think it's about shaming them. It's about the fact that, either you're there at
It's
the
a
beginning of
fact.
the meeting or you record when someone joined late. To say that everyone else was there at 10 a.m. would be redundant.
So could you add that I arrived at that time due to a scheduling conflict and not due to negligence?
Oh, yeah, that would be, I think, reasonable.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Harry, if that's the way it came across, we are not shamers here. We're all
Yeah.
volunteers. We get it. We have other lives, things going on, people working. So if there's anything we can do to just clarify those things, happy to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, well, good. So with that, I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
Hey, Tim, this is Pete. Just on
Hi, Pete.
new business item C. Can we just, my name spelled correctly in that one?
Okay.
N-I-E, not N-E-I.
Okay, noted.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain that motion again. To approve
I'll
the minutes
motion.
with the correction. Pete,
I'll make
Pete
a motion
moved.
to approve.
Okay, second, please.
I'll second. Robert
Okay.
K.
Thank you, Robert. We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay, the motion is adopted. Great. Item 2 on our agenda, are there any comments or concerns regarding the meeting agenda? And I see Bonnie's got her hand raised. Bonnie, recognize
Mine's
you.
not. Thank you. Mine's not concerning the meeting agenda. I just thought it would be helpful to provide an update on what's happening with the Board of Education because of the impact it's having on accounting students.
Oh,
So it's not just accounting students, but at the federal level, the Board of Education has put out proposed changes which restrict who is considered a professional. That impacts student loans. And they removed accounting, nurses, a number of others, but accounting is your concern for today. They moved accounting from there. So we did have our state legislature speak publicly, make a comment saying that the changes as a whole were a problem. And the state societies and the AICPA are working on the accounting piece of it. We're going to get an update from Mark Peterson, who heads up the AICPA's government relations, at our town hall meeting on Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. So that'll be right up to date because something is expected to happen this week. But right now, it does look like the Department of Education is going to move forward with those changes. And that means that many people that get student loans right now will not be eligible for them for accounting. So for us, it's a big concern because of the pipeline. So I just wanted to share that. If anyone wants to attend that town hall, they're a portion of it. They're not the entire meeting. I would say it would be probably covered from 9:30 on. Before that, we have Department of Revenue Service and the U.S. Postal Service because of postmark changes, whatever. But I can get you a pass to get in if you're not a CTCPA member and you want to hear from Mark or ask any questions about this new policy. He would only respond from the accounting perspective. He cannot tell you, I don't believe, maybe he could, but what's happening with the other majors. But I just want everyone to know, because it's going to have a significant impact on students, because most students do get student loans, and that's it.
Yeah. Wow. What's the date of that webinar, Bonnie? You said it's
I
coming
think
up?
it's the 21st is Wednesday. It's
Okay.
next Wednesday at 9 a.m. But I believe that the education portion will start at 9:30. You're welcome to attend the entire thing. It's 9 to 10 on Wednesday.
Got it. Okay.
So again, if
Well,
you're
thank-
interested, shoot me an email and I will get you a link or something.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I'll add too, you know, with those guidelines coming out, certainly others, I know the AICPA and NASBA have points of view around this, trying to advocate against what they're proposing. Obviously, it flies in the face of what the profession's been trying to do and what we think we need in order to have a strong profession and a strong regulatory environment around public protection for the work that CPAs do. So, very key issue. I wasn't aware how quickly this was going to move in terms of whether the Department of Education actually approved those in final form, but
They're not in final form yet, but
Yeah.
people are surprised that they
haven't backed off
with
yet.
everyone working against them, because
Yeah.
there are so many people. I mean, there's shortages of nurses and others as well. Right, they haven't backed off, which has been kind of their standard operating procedure lately. So
Sure.
we are very concerned that despite as much efforts being put out here by as many people, we thus far don't seem to be having an impact.
Did they give any rationale as to why? Because I would, if they're going to say accountants, then it should be lawyers and doctors. Like, it's such nonsense.
It's not just accountants, it's a huge number of people. Like I said, there's a lot of medical professionals in there, like nurses and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's I don't think it's anything that makes sense, but we've had a little bit of difficulty making reason out of a lot of the federal moves yet. We don't,
Well, yes.
we're not.
In general, we could just throw a general statement
It's
out
been
there for that one.
challenging to yes, yeah. And that makes
Okay.
it harder to fight, because if you don't know really what's behind it, it makes it much more difficult to stop, because pure reason doesn't seem to make as much difference these days.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm
Unfortunately.
stopping.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that update, Bonnie. I think that's very relevant, so appreciate it. Okay.
Good morning,
If
Tim.
no, good
I
morning.
do.
Oh, Kat, good morning. Yes.
Good morning. It's concerning the agenda. This is not on the
Okay.
agenda, but if you give permission, I could give the board an update about just a snapshot of the 2026 renewal cycle.
Got it.
I can roll that in with the regulations updates as well.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that, and I'd open it up to the rest of the members if someone wants to, maybe just formally, we should add that to the agenda.
I'd make a
If I could have
motion to update the agenda for Kat's update.
Thank you, Robert. We've got a motion on the floor. Second?
Pete, I'll second.
Okay. I think Pete, we got the second. Not sure of any discussion. Hearing none. Motion's adopted. Kat, you can provide that update in due time,
Thank
which
you.
is now.
Okay.
We're up to
Thank
the
you.
legal division update, regulations update. So I'll turn it over to you, Kat.
Okay, thank you. So with the regulations, unfortunately, there's nothing new to report. The proposed regulations are still being reviewed by DCP. I understand that there's a backlog of regulations, so that's where we are. So in terms of the snapshot of 2026 renewal cycle, Rochelle, could you bring up I put it together just as one page. If I could share screen so you can follow along more easily. So this is just the renewals. So in December, actually it started in October, we sent out for registrations, we sent out a total of 2,542 renewal notices. Like this is notices reminding people to renew. And out of those numbers, 2,236 people renewed their registrations and 303 did not renew. So this is 100. If you compare to last year, it's about 100 more. I did a little chart here for you to the graph for you to see the numbers are pretty, flat. So in terms of licenses, we sent out 4,984 notices, and of those, 4,694 renewed and 290 people did not renew. This is 100 more than last year. And there were 186 people who reported late CPEs and paying a fine. And of those, and the total fine CPEs collected was 99,210. And this is roughly the same amount for the last 2 years. And there were 59 people paying the $315 fine and 129 people paying the larger amount. And firm permits, we sent out 1,125 notices, 993 renewed, while 132 did not renew. And this is the exact same number as last year. So the graphs again show just very flat numbers. And then just very quickly, and then I can answer any questions. So these are enforcement cases. So last year we opened, there were 58 cases opened compared to 51 cases in 2024. And we closed 20 last year and 21 the year before. So Tiffany and I have a lot of cases to go through. And if you look at the snapshot, basically most cases, like these are allegations actually. They're not proven. So when the complaint center, when they take in complaints, they would note down, the types of complaints that came in. So it could change when we go through the cases. But of the snapshot, most are practicing without firm permit, practicing without license, and some professional misconduct, and some tax errors. So this is just to give you a snapshot. So do you have any questions?
Kat, this is Bud. I do have a question. If you go back to the renewals, just higher up on the screen. Yeah, right there. When you send out the renewal notices, I'm looking at the CPA permits. Do you send them out, like if someone doesn't renew in 24, do they get a renewal notice the next year? Like, because the number of renewal notice issued is a higher number than was renewed the prior year. So I was just curious how that worked.
I don't believe they would get a notice if they failed to renew the year before, because they wouldn't be renewing. They would need to be reinstating. Because, so it's only active people who are renewing. The reason you see more is because we had new firm permits. So
New
these
firm
numbers,
permits, okay.
right, do not include new firm permits
Okay,
or
so somebody
new
who
licenses.
created a new firm or got a license during that year gets added to the list, gets a renewal notice. That makes sense.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, Kat, I had one question. In the licenses and or certificates, do the renewals include those that opted into the retiree status that we?
No, because they don't need to renew.
Well, I
Is
guess
that your question?
they would renew in their first year of, right? I guess they pay the $20 to officially enter that status. Where do those numbers get captured? I guess is maybe one of my questions. Because I noticed the not reneweds going up, and just curious why they're not getting renewed. Is it some people demographically, retire, say, I don't need to spend $565 to maintain a license if I'm not practicing. But I wonder whether or not some of those are even aware that this other option's available for them if they chose to want to retain the CPA title.
Yes, that unfortunately, there is no way to answer that question because
Okay.
we don't capture reasons why they don't renew. They just don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can certainly not, have more public awareness of the retiree status, as we have discussed. But
Yes.
there's no way to tell why people did not renew.
Okay. Thank you.
I believe Tiffany has a comment.
Oh, okay.
I just would like to add that I don't know if it's been made public yet, but DCP is issuing a newsletter to help consumers and CPAs in the public. So if you would like to add in about the retiree information, I'd be happy to forward that over to our communications department, who may be able to add that a part of that.
So, Tiffany, this is different from the board's newsletter, correct?
Correct. This is issued by DCP. It's we did one last year, and I'm happy to share the link to you guys so you guys can read it. It includes top 5 allegations that DCP received, tips for consumers and CPAs, as well as I believe it also discussed how many cases we had as well.
Okay. No, that's good to know. That's news to me because I've been under the impression I know the board, the last time we issued a letter, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but was probably over 10 years ago, and we felt compelled we should be reaching out and sharing information. And I guess I don't want to, maybe there's no need to duplicate certain things that might be going in the DCP letter versus what the board is going to put in their letter. So we should coordinate it on that front. That's good. That's good to know. Thank you.
I'm sending you guys the link right now for the last
Okay.
year's one.
Great.
The one for this year I don't believe it's been released yet, but it is going to follow a similar format.
Okay. And is this specific to DCP accounting related matters, not necessarily other professions that
So this
within DCP?
This one's specifically for CPAs, accountancy. So it is, again, it's for the consumers to assist them with, again, what are certain scams to watch out for CPAs, impersonating tax professionals, all that good stuff, as
Okay.
well as what DCP does on our end for that. It also includes, because again, we deal with DCP, we deal with CPAs, but it also includes information from Department of Revenue Services, where it's going to discuss that, again, Department of Revenue handles paid tax preparers, what their realm is, what are their recommendations as well. I did see your question here, Bonnie, about who this is shared with. This is posted directly on DCP's website as a, I want to say a press release or news release, I should say.
Thank you.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you. So that's all I have on this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kat. All right. Moving on to our next order of business, item 4. Under old business, the one item here is on alternative practice structures. So you recall at our last meeting, I had referenced a white paper that NASBA had issued, and it's still outstanding, related to private equity and the use of alternative practice structures, which have been going on for years now. And there's, I guess, the white paper is looking to examine, those trends and the implications specific to regulatory responsibilities of the state boards of accountancy. The white paper included, I think, as you noted, a background on Board of Accountancy regulation and CPAs. They tried to give an overview of what APS structures look like with CPA firms and the PE investments in the non-attest firm versus the attest firm, which is registered with the states for attestation work. And the 3 areas of focus were around, you may have noticed, independence and professional standards. So there were 7 questions that they posed around items like, how should attest firms that operate in those structures maintain audit quality and avoid undue influence from an independence perspective, given some of the pressures that might ensue within a PE-owned entity. The disclosure and public understanding topic had 4 questions, and those were focused mostly around whether the public has the ability to really understand who they're engaging, make informed decisions about the services that they're engaging in, who's a CPA, who's not a CPA. Is that clear enough for their purposes? And again, how they advertise, how they talk about themselves from a website perspective. And then last topic was on regulatory oversight and enforcement. There were 4 questions outlined there. And the focus was because, these private equity structures can be fairly complex from an ownership perspective. There could be some regulatory gaps or inconsistencies in regulation among the various jurisdictions in which they operate. And then again, how do state boards deal with these firms that are operating across multiple jurisdictions? So there's an opportunity, if we felt compelled to want to respond to this white paper, should we feel the need to and interest to. I know, personally, I'm still learning more about, APS and what it might mean. I think many other boards are doing the same thing. But to the extent there's anyone that has, and I'd open it up, any views or thoughts around any of the information in the white paper or any of the questions where you felt like, as a board, we should take the time to try to weigh in on this, given any concerns we have. That was the purpose of sharing the white paper, to make you aware of it, have a chance to read it. And I'd like to open it up to any thoughts or questions around, the white paper itself and the ask that's being, made to the state board, if we feel like, we have a voice that we want to be heard as it relates to some of these specific questions.
When was this shared? I don't seem to have any.
This was back right after our last meeting. I think it was mid-December. I'm sorry. Yeah, was it maybe it was even earlier.
Maybe
November.
mid-November.
November. It was November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who
So maybe,
shared it? Because
maybe,
I don't seem to have anything from you.
yeah, it didn't come from me. It was, I think, from Kat.
Oh,
It was back
Yes,
on,
I sent out the email.
it was November
oh,
5th.
here it is. I found
Yeah.
it. I found it.
So anyways, is there anything, I don't, again, if you've had a chance to review, is there anything that you, any thoughts around it, or is the board, happy with, kind of letting this play out? I know also, one thing that's also been issued by the AICPA recently through their Professional Ethics Executive Committee, there's an exposure draft issued in December, that's focused on, primarily the issue around independence and with these structures and private equity investments, and how that might need to be adapted to address some of the concerns given, the oversight and ownership of private equity on CPA firms and the work that they do. That exposure draft was just issued in mid-December. I think responses on that are due by the end of April. I know NASBA, as a, in their role representing, state boards, if you will be doing a review and responding. So there's multiple movements on this front, both on the white paper and this exposure draft. But again, just to make everyone aware of this, and oh, I see Bonnie with her hand raised.
So in addition to what you said regarding ethics, we had a meeting with AICPA, we being the state societies. They are planning on taking anybody that has an alternative practice structure out of the state peer review programs and moving them to the National Peer Review Committee for greater review and expertise. So they're raising it on that front as well.
Got it. Yeah, that was also specifically one of the questions that was raised, talking about how the peer review processes might need to be adapted to address the complexity of those independence considerations, around the PE investments. So that's good information. Thank you.
Just for FYI purposes, when we had that meeting, we went and looked at who was in the peer review program in Connecticut, and we don't have anybody that's private equity in ours. That's not true in every state, but it's definitely the case in Connecticut that we don't have the smaller or mid-sized firms that are in private equity.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, if there is something that comes up and you feel compelled that, again, you think as a board, we should be making commentary on any of these questions, you can reach out to me. We can consider next steps on that. That's all I had as it relates to the APS. So we're on to item 5, our new business in the agenda, and the first item is going back to the newsletter, which this is a different newsletter than what Tiffany's mentioned that TCP is issuing. So it's probably 10 years ago, and when John, Pete, Danny, a number of us just joined the board, we had coordinated with NASBA for them to assist in publishing a newsletter. It's a service free of charge, from NASBA. And it really was the first and only letter that we've ever issued, so within that letter, it talked about recent changes in regulation, legislation, anything that we think would be relevant for CPA professionals or CPA firms or other stakeholders to know. It was a way for us to kind of reach out and do that. And so HARE has gladly and happily agreed to assist in kind of getting this going again. The sequencing of how often we do it is open for discussion and debate. Maybe it's on an as-needed basis, maybe it's annually, but we're in the midst of, collecting what we think is the right information, good information that we want to put in the newsletter. So Sohair, I'll let you make a few comments in terms of where that process stands and what the next steps might be. I mean, I know we're looking to try to pull this together fairly shortly.
Certainly, I'd be happy to do so. And I dropped the link to the last publicly available State Board of Accountancy newsletter that we issued. I think it was February 2014. It was very well done. And Tim and I have been in correspondence with NASBA's communications team, who has graciously offered to put it together for us once again. And the current content of our newsletter includes a message from the chairman, the recent changes to the Connecticut General Statutes regarding the new pathways and mobility. It also includes frequently asked questions, common errors and mistakes, good things to know, as well as lists of the names of certificates issued, registered certificates issued, licenses issued, and firm permits issued. And I'd like to thank, on behalf of the board, Kat, Mike, and Tiffany, who provided us with certain content for the newsletter. Now, Tim and I would like to include the photos and brief bios of all the board members in this newsletter as well. And I think at this point, there are 3 outstanding questions. And Tim, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know we've been going back and forth in email and
Sure.
sometimes crossing in real time. But the question is, what is the best way to collect the photos and brief bios of all the board members in a timely manner? Number 2, what is the best way to share the draft content with this board for review and comment before it is issued? And number 3, will NASBA or the Department of Consumer Protection send the newsletter to the CPAs, firms, and other stakeholders on behalf of this board? One last point I wanted to make, and Tim, again, you can chime in. Going forward, we would like to establish a communications committee so that the onus is not just on 1 or 2 board members, but a group of board members to ensure the continuity of this newsletter. And Tim, I know you said that we are open to the frequency. We discussed, given that this is a volunteer board, to issue the newsletter on a biannual basis on January and July of each year. And again, this is all open to discussion with your feedback and input. So the floor is open.
I'll raise my hand.
Thank you, Sohair. So I will, item 1 on your list, the one thing I propose, and again, if you look back to the link from the last newsletter, we did include, it was a meet the board section where it had, photos and brief bios of each board member. I think it'd be great for our CPA professionals to be able to put faces to names and just have an idea of who we are, public, what's the difference of public member, CPA, et cetera. And what I could do, and just I don't want to make these meetings. I know when you send things out in mass, it becomes a meeting. I could individually share the bio that I'm planning to use, just so you have it in terms of length and content, if that would be helpful to each of the
Yes.
board members. So I will, unless anyone disagrees, I'll plan to do that. Just send individual emails. And then, once you prepare your bios, if you can send those, to Sohair, I think you can copy me. I think 2 people, that's not a meeting, right? That would be most helpful.
Okay.
Yes, Carla. See your hand raised?
Yeah, I just have one little question for Sohair about, I think you said some of the content was going to be, it was Well, is there going to be a list of everybody who's a registered CPA by name? Or
Yes,
is it just the number of registered CPAs?
that's correct. So even in our last letter, there was the lists